Are you currently dating a Gemini man or woman or considering it? Then this video is all for you. Hey everyone, Andrew Morrison here, also known as Andrew the Astrologer. Welcome to my channel. If you are brand new to me, I help both men and women to help them move and step into their individual power and their worth so they can elevate their income, wealth, careers, and relationships all completely through the power of astrology. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, consider subscribing below and make sure that the bell and all notifications are turned on. Before I get into today's main content, quick disclaimer, full transparency about today's video is that astrology is completely individualized. No two person here on earth has the same reality, and I wanted to be fully upfront about this because there's thousands of different astrological combinations that I do take into consideration when doing relationship compatibility. So the best way to get a deeper analysis and understanding of what's really going on truly in your individual reality is going to be to schedule astrology reading and consultation, which you can actually do so by scheduling that by sending me an email, which is posted in the description down below. Also found below is a link to my free private Facebook group, completely free to join. I just wanted to mention this if this does seem of interest to you right now. Alright, the first thing to keep in mind when dating or considering dating a Gemini man or woman is that Geminis are extremely sociable. Super important to remember about this air sign. Now in astrology, the element of air, it's all about the different ways that we connect and we relate with other human beings here on earth. And in my professional astrologer opinion, I actually consider Geminis to be basically the social butterflies out of the whole complete zodiac circle. So this is why oftentimes you can find both Gemini men and women to have very massive, large social networks. And it's really interesting because oftentimes, because Geminis are so outgoing and friendly and they love to engage in conversation, they're very curious, they're very inquisitive, and they love to get to know people. Oftentimes, just because they have big social networks, it doesn't necessarily mean that they actually know everyone on a very deep level. Oftentimes, their social networks can be on a very surface level. So that is also something to remember about Gemini men and women, is that their connections and their relationships of all kinds, whether it's professional or on a friendly level, it can be very on a surface level. It's not a lot of depth going on. Now, because Geminis are all about getting to know people, they're very curious about other people. They oftentimes love to live the life of the party. So they love to, go to social events. They love to go to different social gatherings, go to parties. Oftentimes, Geminis are oftentimes the very first person to be invited to a party. They're oftentimes the very first person to be on that list just because they're so outgoing and they are so much of a social butterfly. So if you don't like, engaging in conversation, doesn't necessarily mean that Geminis always engage in very intellectual conversation. Sometimes it can just be about simple concepts, simple ideas and thoughts. If you don't like, being very expressive, being very communicative, you might want to reconsider dating and being in a relationship with a Gemini. And furthermore, on that note, Geminis are very much similar to Aries in the fact that they can actually get very bored very easily. So Gemini is ruled by Mercury. Mercury rules two signs, Gemini, and the other sign that Mercury rules is Virgo. But in the Gemini side, this is the more playful, more fun, oftentimes a little bit more immature side to Mercury. So yes, they're very social and they love to live the life of the party, and that is very important to keep in mind when dating or considering dating a Gemini man or woman. All right, the second thing to keep in mind when dating or considering dating a Gemini man or woman is that Geminis can be oftentimes very much changeable. There can be a lot of changeability to their personality and their habits and their patterns. And so in astrology, Gemini is actually considered a mutable sign, and mutable simply gives it the traits and characteristics of being very changeable and being very adaptable. Now, I often consider Geminis to almost have like this chameleon soul type of energy and personality because, again, there can be a lot of changeability, there can be a lot of inconsistencies on a day to day basis. And I really wanted to include this in today's video. I really wanted to place strong emphasis on this point because there are certain zodiac signs, especially if you are an earth sign, for example, or if you have heavy, strong earth-based energy as an individual. So earth signs include Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And earth signs are all about, structure, stability, and things that are very solid and very much the same, kind of like a rock. Doesn't really change. But Gemini is, on the other hand, they can be, again, very inconsistent, and there can be a lot of changeability, just like with the news, because the news is always constantly changing. The news stories are always changing, and it's never much the same on a day-to-day basis. So again, if you don't like people that can oftentimes blow hot and cold, and are very much different on a day-to-day basis, you might want to reconsider being or dating a Gemini man or woman because you can find it incredibly frustrating, annoying, and challenging at times being with this Gemini person. Very important to keep in mind and remember about this air sign here. The last point I want to address, if you are dating a Gemini or if you are considering dating a Gemini man or woman, is that Geminis can be some of the most creative human beings. And in my professional astrologer opinion, I actually consider Gemini zodiac sign to be basically the most creative sign out of the whole complete zodiac belt. Very, very important to remember about Gemini people. Now, as I mentioned earlier before in this video, that Gemini is an air sign and it's also connected and ruled by Mercury. So when you put these energies together, what comes out of the mix is basically the power of the mind, the power of the intellect, and essentially creative intelligence. So on that note, this is why Gemini people, men and women, perform and excel in fields and careers, especially that include marketing, advertising, journalism, anything to do with social media marketing, so on and so forth. Now, when I talk about creative here, this certainly doesn't just include, creativity on an intellectual level and the ways that we express our words and things of that nature. But Geminis can also be creative on an artistic level, which can include singing, acting, photography, filmmaking, video editing, and things of that sort. So if you are someone that is very intimidated or turned off by creativity and artistry, then again, you definitely might want to reconsider dating or being with a Gemini because creativity is very much oftentimes can be a centerpiece in their world. And again, they're all about the power of the mind and the power of different ways that we think, different ways of thought patterns, and being really creative with different things that we oftentimes don't see. It can be very abstract that way. So that is a wrap for today's video, and I hope you found This video very helpful and informative. And again, if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, consider subscribing below and make sure that the bell and all notifications are turned on so you never miss a brand new video here on my channel. And again, if you are really needing deeper guidance and help with the area of love, relationships, dating, what have you, I'd love to sit down with you and work with you with a private astrological consultation and reading. Space is limited, but as always, you can schedule that by shooting me an email, which is posted in the description down below. Thank you again for tuning in and listening to this video today, and I'll see you in the upcoming videos ahead. Thank you.